President Obama has just laid out his development plan concerning the United States military and its design and focus going forward. Apparently, the idea is that we would shift from a boots on the ground occupational imperialism to an unmanned robotics and cyber domination policy. There are a few problems with the change that I thought would be as obvious as they are troublesome. First of all, when you remove the human cost of war from the aggressor's concern, you liberalize the use of force. Basically, it's easier to kill without the fear of death. Not only is this wrong on many levels, but it's nihilistic and inhuman. If you're not willing to die for war's causes, then these wars should just not be fought. Modern technology has already given unprecedented longevity to the United States military, whose losses are nearly categorically paled in comparison to their opponents. The new plan looks to further widen that divide. And while it seems like a good idea to keep our soldiers alive, to be fair, soldiers don't become soldiers because they value their own safety. They do it to risk their safety for that of everyone else. They know exactly what they're getting into, and their commander-in-chief should honor that sacrifice. If soldiers want to sit at a console and remotely shoot bad guys, they would not have abandoned their PlayStations for the service. Secondly, the amount of money set aside for this transformation is astronomical. It's more than the Bushling even dared to spend. In a time when the economy is teetering on the brink of collapse and popular opinion is widespread in its disgust for all forms of economic policy, the president throws increasingly larger sums of money at an institution which he himself has just downsized the manpower. Why is nobody speaking out about this? He wants to reduce the size of our standing forces and give more money to the military. We have to say no. And lastly, what happens to all of the specially trained and battle-ready soldiers we already have when they're replaced by active robotics and cyber tech? They have to go somewhere. And when you look at the policies coming out of Capitol Hill, like SOPA and NDAA, and you add in the TSA and their ever-expanding reach, and Obama squaring off against American citizens, even going so far as to assassinate a few, one tends to hope that they aren't standing in our streets. The executive office of president has been on a mad 12-year power grab, the likes of which should horrify and enlighten everybody on the planet. Obama has already made public his desire for a private, domestic army under his command, quote, as strong and well-funded as the United States military. Could this be where all the unneeded soldiers are going? One should hope not. There once was a German leader who also wanted something like this, but for some reason his name escapes me. I do not like the way things seem to be developing. It's not that I think that the US is becoming a fascist totalitarian oligarchy. It's that I see all of the signs that would lead a logical man to assume that that is possible. First, the submission to illegal search and seizure in airports. Then, the legislated restrictions on the internet and attacks on whistleblowers worldwide, and finally, the legislated indefinite detention of American citizens and the declaration of the entire globe as a battlefield, all happened before Obama told us about his reshaping of the American military. Even if Obama does not pull the trigger on the official change, the power that the office of president has collected makes it such a strong possibility that anyone who assumes the office can and most likely will be corrupted by it. Thinking back, you really cannot say that Obama did not fulfill his election campaign promise of change. He has certainly been responsible for facilitating an abundance of that, just not the change that we would have expected.